Mm-hmm.
Self would take you through some struggles. Self would take you through some heartaches. It'll take you through some unnecessary things, which would cause drama and traumatize your life. Oh my God. Hallelujah. But God wants to bring us out. Tell somebody, God wants to bring us out.
God want to bring us
God
out.
want to bring us out. And if we dare take the challenge to get ourselves out of the way, to get our opinion, to get our correct mindset out of the way. See, because our good is not good enough.
Mm.
Amen.
Mm.
Our good is not, what seems to be good to you is not good to God.
Amen.
See, a good idea is not necessarily a God idea.
That's right.
It seemed good to my flesh, but is it good to God? Read.
And Jacob asked him and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou doest ask after my name? And he blessed him there.
See, God want to bless you. God want to bless you. And if the encounter with God is the way it ought to, and we release and embrace, release the things that we need to release, and embrace the things that we need to embrace, we will find a blessing around the corner. In fact, we'll find a blessing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob found his blessing right there. Read on.
And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel.
See, when God blesses you, it will have such an impact on your life till you want to name the place. You're always, now that's a place that Jacob always remembered. No matter where he go, no matter what he do, he will always remember that. When God do some things to you, they'll be so profound in your life that you'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
You'll never forget the moment it happened, the day I got saved.
Mm.
That was one of the greatest days of my life. In
Mm.
fact, it started me of greatness. And I'll never forget where I was at. I'll never forget that moment.
Mm.
I'll never forget the date. Why? Because it was something great that God done in my life. And when God do something great in your life, you'll never forget it. And God wants to have that kind of impact on your life. That there would be things so great that you'll never forget them. Tell somebody you'll never forget it.
You'll never forget
You'll
it.
never forget it. Read.
And Jacob called the name, I read that. For I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved.
Jacob said, I have seen God face to face. That's who he was wrestling with. He was having an encounter with God, and he said, I have seen God face to face, and my life will never be the change, never be the same. I've seen God face to face, and he has blessed me. God wanted to bless you.
Amen.
God wanted to bless you. Now turn to Ephesians. It's some things that'll never happen. Tell somebody it'll never happen
It will never happen
until you do it yourself.
until you do it yourself.
There are some changes in our life that need to take place and will never happen until we do.
Mm.
The 4th chapter and the 22nd verse. It says that ye put off concerning the former conversation, and 22nd verse, the old man.
That ye put off concerning the former manner of life, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust.
Do you see that? We got to pull off some things.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that have attached themselves to our life that we need to pull off. There are some things that are attached themselves to our life that are weights trying to pull us down, trying to hinder us from progressing or going further in life. And we need to pull them out. And this is what that's saying. Because the deeds, the conversation, the things that have attached themselves are holding you back. So it's saying you need to pull it off, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. In other words, it holds nothing but corruption and deceit in that state. See now, let me tell you, God can change corruption. Do you understand? God can deal with corruption. You can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. It'll overtake me. It'll overtake you. But it'll never overtake God. See, and sometimes we worry about a situation thinking we can deal with it. But we need to let God deal with it. And that's why it said pull it out. Read.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
There is a renewal. Renewed in the spirit of mind means that a change. God would bring about a change when we pull it out, when we let go of it, when we say bye-bye to it. God would bring about a change, and there would be a renewing of the situation. There would be a renewing of the mind. There would be a renewing of the spirit. Oh my God. Then we can put on the new man. Then we can put on the new man. See, put it on means that it never get on me unless I embrace it and put it on, right? Ain't that right? I got to initiate that. I can't expect God to put it on me. God, look, God made it available. Do you understand? God made it available. And there are some things that God made available for us. But unless we put them on, unless we initiate it, unless we embrace it, it'll never happen. God wants everybody to be saved. God wants everybody to know the love of God. And God made it possible for everybody to be saved and everybody to know the love of God. But it'll never happen unless they embrace it. For God so loved the world that he gave his life, that he gave his only begotten Son on the cross of Calvary, that the whole world can be saved. But they had to take the initiative of embracing him. But God made it possible. Now, if it was just God's love that was enough to do it, everybody would be saved. Wouldn't we have to preach? Wouldn't we have to go into funerals? Wouldn't have to be dealing with drama? Why? Because God's love would be enough. God's love is enough if people embrace it.
Amen.
But they got to embrace it. They got to put it on. They got to initiate it happening in their life. Read.
And that you put on the new man, which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
After God, which is created in righteousness, God created us in righteousness, and God wants us to remain that way. And if we put on the new man, we will remain in the righteousness of holiness. But if we neglect to put on the new man, then we will find ourselves in turmoil. But we got to put away. We got to put on, put off. Ephesians the 6th chapter. And the 11th verse. It says, put on the whole armor of God. Who's going to do it?
We have to.
It says, put on. God has made it available. And he made it available for our protection. He made it available so that we won't be overtaken by the enemy, because the enemy got many tactics out there that will overtake us. And if we're not wise enough to know the difference, as that prayer says, wisdom and knowledge know the difference. We got to know the wisdom, know the difference. So it says, put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand. If we put it on, we're going to be able to stand. But if we neglect putting it on, we're going to be overtaken. That's what the scripture says. It said, put on the whole armor of God that ye may. Tell somebody that you may.
That ye
That ye
may.
may. That means if I do it. That means if I position myself to do it. Do you not know? See, attitude is the positioning of your body and the positioning of your mind. I had to have an attitude to get out of bed this morning. Now, I'm telling you what I'm talking about. My mind wanted to get up because I knew I needed to get up, but my body did not want to get out of bed.
Amen.
My body wanted to lay there and rest. And if I didn't bring my body in subjection to my thoughts and my emotion, my desire, by attitude, do you understand what I'm saying? I would have never got up.
Amen.
And that's why attitude is very important. It is the positioning of your body in alignment with my mind. See, my mind said, get up, you got to get up. It knew that. But my body said, lay here. Now, I couldn't let my body dictate to my mind through feelings as they would. You ain't going nowhere.
Amen.
How many know what I'm talking about?
Amen.
But I had a position, I had to take an attitude against my body dictating to my mind. And you have to take an attitude against situation trying to dictate to you. Because situation will dictate to you and hold you in the muck and murray and hold you in a bunch of drama where you'll be dramatized. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you got to tell the devil that he's a liar. Because it's a devil that wants you to be in situations that'll keep you down. He don't want you to go any further. He don't want you to progress. He wants you to hold on to dead things. It's dead. And if you hold on to dead things, they'll start stinking, won't they?
Amen.
So tell somebody to release it.
Release it.
You got to release it. You got to position your body in accordance and in alignment with your mind. Because wherever your mind goes, your body goes. In other words, if you think over there, your body will end up going over there. So we got to put on and put out. So it said, put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of devil. See, stand means to position. You got to position yourself. Because, see, if you don't position yourself, everything will come and knock you off balance.
Amen.
And some people are being knocked off balance. When the wind is blowing real hard, don't you have to position yourself?
Amen.
You have to plant your feet and say, I ain't going nowhere. And the wind is beating all up against you. Oh, you're going to have situations like that beat up against you. But when you position yourself, do you know, in karate, one of the most important things is a stance. The stance is where you lock your knees in a certain position so that when the opponent comes at you, he can't knock you off balance. And if you never get that stance correctly, you'll never be good at correcting. So if we don't get our stance right, it'll hinder us in every area, every other area. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Amen.
Now the person could know how to move this way and that one, but if he don't have his stance right, there's always something gonna be lacking. So if we don't get our stance, our positioning right in God, there's always gonna be lacking. This is why you find people that know the scriptures and can quote the scriptures, but because they're not standing, you see a lack. You see a deficiency in their life. Though they can quote the Bible, they can tell you about this and that, they can tell you how to go to church, what you do in church, clap your hands, speak in tongues, do all this and that. But because they haven't positioned themselves in a walk with God, is something lacking in their life. Sometimes people say, that's judging me. But people gotta know the difference between judging and condemning.
That's right.
And see, people don't know what judging is. Judging is just making a distinction between right and wrong.
That's right.
Condemning is when you cast it down. So the Bible teaches to judge, but it teaches not to condemn. Two different things. And that's a teaching in itself. So the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Wiles mean trickery. Wiles mean deceptive tactics. And the devil has plenty deceptive tactics that we cannot deal with in ourselves. And that's why we need God to deal with those situations. Wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high place. 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God. You got to take it. It's not just going to be given to you. The devil's not going to let you have it on a bed of ease. But he's going to see if you really want it. And if you want it, you're going to do what you got to take it. You're going to do what you got to embrace it. And it takes courage. It takes initiative. It takes willpower to embrace what you need to embrace. It takes willpower to go against the grain of the world. The grain of many things that would try to dictate your life, that would try to dictate the pace of your life, that would try to dictate the mindset of your life. But you got to have courage. You got to dig down. You got to say, gut check time. It's time to see what I'm made of. It's time to see what God placed in me. Let me tell you why we're right there. Don't you know God placed in every one of us, even that little baby right there, the power to become. So the power to become has been placed in every one of us. And through attitude and desire, we can tap into that power.
Amen.
But if desire and attitude is lacking, we'll never tap into that power. Do you understand?
Amen.
The power to become what God wants me to become has been placed in me from birth. And through my desire, through our life, and through my attitude, I can tap into that power. You understand? The power to become is in you. The power to become is in that. It's in all of us. And through attitude and through desire, we can tap into that power. That means we can embrace it, and we can let that power work on our behalf. Oh, this is why many great people have become great, because they had a desire to become They had the attitude, even though there was great opposition that dictated to them that they could not be, that it would never happen. Look at Martin Luther King, look at Jesus. There was great opposition against them, but they became what society said they couldn't become. They done what society said they couldn't do. Martin Luther King, though all the opposition came against him, he still persevered, even to the point of death. Jesus persevered, even to the point of death. And we can persevere, even until the point of death. When I say death, I mean the death of self.
Amen.
I don't mean that the extinct existence from this earth, but I mean we can kill self. We can kill self-will, because self-will want to get into something. Self-will want to hold on to something that ain't doing me no good.
That's right.
So it says, wherefore, take unto you. I gotta want to take it. It gotta be my desire. Sometimes I gotta get an attitude, because there's opposition out there to say you can't have it. So I gotta have an attitude. I gotta have a desire and persevere in the expected outcome, because it's not gonna be handed on a silver platter. But wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God. God has given me armor so that I won't have to be overtaken by the devices of the enemy. Because the enemy got devices out there that are stronger than me. And if I don't have a desire and persevere and take an attitude in positioning my body in alignment with the will of God. That's why it said, present your body a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And then when I do that, I can find joy. I can find peace. See, joy is a descriptive word for attitude. In other words, he had an attitude of joy. He had an attitude of gratitude. It's describing what kind of attitude. And the Bible says the joy of the Lord is my strength. So when I have an attitude of joy, it gives me a strength to accomplish what needs to be accomplished. Tell somebody you need strength.
You need strength.
And it's in the joy of the Lord.
It's in the joy.
Oh, it's in the joy of the Lord. That's where the joy of the Lord is my strength. The Bible says, for the joy that was set before Jesus, he endured the cross. In other words, if he had not adapted an attitude of joy, he would not have endured. You understand? And there are things in your life that will confront you, except you get an attitude toward it, you won't overcome it.
That's right.
You won't overcome lying. You won't overcome stealing. You won't overcome drugging. You won't overcome alcohol. You won't overcome many things, smoking. You won't overcome this and that. Pornography, homosexuality, unless you get an attitude toward it and say, I'm not going to live this way.
Amen.
I refuse to stay in this state. And until we get an attitude over something, we'll never overcome.
Amen.
But when we get an attitude, victory. Jesus had an attitude of joy, and he rose from the dead. He had an attitude of joy, and he endured the cross. He despised the shame. It was a shame in dying such a death. But Jesus said, the joy that I have will give me strength to despise the shame and the contradictory of sinners, because I see a greater outcome. Let me tell you something in closing. When we see as God sees, we will see a greater outcome.
Amen.
For I reckon that the serpent, reckon is a accounting word.
Mm-hmm.
It means consider something. Even though you don't see it, you consider it. In accounting, they consider some figures, even though on paper it don't show. But in figuring it out and considering it be so, and having the knowledge, it comes out right. So if you consider something, even though you don't see it, but you know the grace of God is going to bring it, then you can have the victory. So it said, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared unto the glory. So what you're going through now, and what you're trying to deal with on your own now,
Mm-hmm.
can't be compared to the glory that God will bring out if he has.
Amen.
Do you understand?
Amen.
So it's to my good to have the wisdom and knowledge to know what I can handle and what I can't handle.
Amen.
It's to my, tell somebody it's to your advantage.
It's to
To
your
your
advantage.
advantage.
It's to your advantage. I know sometimes we think we can't. But we got to know.
Amen.
So I thank God for all things. So God has some things in store for us if we only